Okay, well, while we're in here, let's go over a couple things. We'll get some base weights here. So the first thing we want to weigh are what I'm going to call the high grade concentrates from our smelting recovery here. I was gonna say it's about 3 before I weighed it up, but it's well over 3 grams. Got 5.7. It's gonna be close to 5.8 grams here. And a couple of those grams definitely gonna be lead. And we have some tenths of grams that are gonna be copper. Not too much copper though. Oof. No way we get to 6. That'd be crazy if it was like 6 on the money. Okay. You're in or you're out, kitty. You figure it out. All right, so we have 5. Excuse me, 1 second. Okay, so we have 5.933. And I'm probably gonna want to double up on that on the lead. So we're gonna get a lead foil envelope for that. And we will package this up, get it in a Cupel, and that'll be the first Cupel that we do to get our first gold button. That'll be number 1, a high grade. From there, we will keep that button. We will keep that button, and we're gonna further chemically refine it. Next, we have this junk right here. Let me get this stuff out of here. We have, I need some sort of container for this stuff. Got plenty of those, just need to use it. Actually, I don't even know if that can hold all that weight. This is the copper and lead metals and some other heavies that were snuffered out. Oof. We have 20.800 grams plus here, I'm gonna do this a little bit more easily. Find some papers my children didn't draw pictures for me on. And the reason why I'm not caring about cleaning this stuff up too much is, I'm going to get to that in 1 second here after I weigh this. And we'll go outside and we will talk some more. So we have 12.760 grams of the Cu plus Pb mix. And for those who don't know, we're talking about copper and lead mix. So we have 33.4 560 grams total. I think, if I did my quick math right. And what we're gonna do with this is, all right, so what we're gonna do now is talk about what we're gonna do with that copper stuff. And that's all right here in this dish. As you can see, we have a bunch of copper and a bunch of lead coating the copper. And I'm sure there's some pieces of gold in here as well. But with this stuff here, my plan is to actually resmelt that. So I want to pull this copper right here in metallic form into the slag, and I'm hoping to achieve a really red slag with that and hopefully pull it out. Now another option would be to cupel over an ounce of this metal, which would take a lot of lead to pull off. So I'm thinking that resmelting it down and trying to pull off that copper and oxidizing it into the slag is the best way to go. So we're going to use a basic solution in our crucible with soda ash and a little bit of borax and a little bit of silica. And we're going to try to pull that copper out into the slag. And if we have a nice red slag, we'll have a good indicator that we've done our job. We're going to use lead as a collector metal in that as well. So we'll have a lead button. And that'll be our second cupel. We'll be doing a lead button cupel with our mid-grade metals, we'll call it. I don't know what else to call it. It'll be cupel number 2 versus cupel number 1, which is this 5 some odd grams, almost 6 grams, 5.933 grams of lead and gold. So we're gonna get that wrapped up here. We'll fire up the oven and get it oxidizing. It's A&B prospecting today. They sure do like me going there. I don't mind it. It's a good place to go. All right. I got this lead foil here. Going to be going for about 10 grams or so. Okay, that's way more than we need. 10 to 15 is probably good, since we already do have some lead in there. Wow. All right, that's perfect. So we're gonna add, let me get this over here. Probably don't even need that much, honestly. Stuff's not cheap. That was like 40 bucks. So we're at 12.26 grams, 12.268 grams of lead. Sorry, my handwriting's not the best here, and this is not really a good surface to write on. Here. Anyways, so let's wrap up this high grade that we've got here. Make our little packet. And lead is inert in its solid form. I will wash my hands, don't worry. All right, in it goes. And this is gonna help encapsulate everything in here and fully rip open that lead. Really get it going and coat all the precious metals. So there's our button. Let's fire up the oven. I'm gonna go start a Patreon stream. What do you say? 18.20, right on the money. That's good math, somehow, magically. Easy. All right, we've got our lead foil button rolled up here, handmade button. We've got it in our cupel. Let's put it in the fire and let it rock and roll. Center it up, turn it on. Should be set from the last time, although there was some dust I had to blow off this bad boy. Let me just double check that. 55, I think, is the original set. Oh, let me see what the set point is. Oh yeah, it's dead. It was deader than a doornail. All right, she's off and rolling. So we're gonna let that come up to temperature. And as soon as it does, we should have some lead, a black kind of sludgy lead on top. And that'll be the very start of that lead opening up and pulling the base metals out, because that mix of lead and gold did have a little bit of copper in there. So we're gonna pull that base metal out of there and hopefully have a pretty pure gold button. Let's see what happens. Combination of lead and copper, and we have a bunch of other nasty stuff. Now all the magnetics have been taken out, but what we're going to do in this, and I'm not going to be doing this tonight, is going to be re-smelt this into a lead button and try to pull that copper out into the slag. We should have a really ruby red slag, or not ruby, just really red slag to get this copper pulled out of here. And we want to fully oxidize it, and I don't want to have any of that in the lead button. Now I could just put this material with a bunch of lead in a big Cupel, same way we're doing right now, and pull that base metal into the Cupel, but it would take a lot of lead and time, so it's easier to just re-smelt this stuff right here. So that's my plan. Now watch out, cat. Now you could do this chemically using some like nitric acid and dissolve the copper out, but I just don't have the setup quite yet. Working on that, part of this series, to fully do that in a safe way. So I'm not going to do that just quite yet. It's just easier for me to re-smelt it. All right, let's open this up for the first time, and it looks like that lead is starting to roll. And you can see the lead coming from the back of the Cupel all the way to the front towards the camera. And that is getting sucked in and absorbed into the Cupel. And you see that black ring around there, that's exactly what we want. It's doing a great job. So that we can't really ask for more than what we've got at the moment, except to shut this thing and let it. All right, so we're pretty much on the way here. Getting smelting here with this gold button, number 1 of the high grade. Now, we're also doing a live show on YouTube, and if you were here while we did the show, thanks so much for joining us. You're hearing this for a second time, but let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a big fat button, guys. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see that on YouTube at the moment, but you'll be able to see it in the video here. It is a thing of beauty. Just rolling off there. Let's see if I can show you guys it. Can you guys see that in there? Bam! Alright, close the door. Alright, so we're not seeing anything anymore here. I'll just try to get you guys a different view. Maybe it's a little bit better. And we might be done. Oh no, she's still rolling. She is still rolling, guys. And you won't, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, because it's probably super overexposed on the camera. But on my phone I have a great shot, so check out that lead rolling off the top of the gold button there. And once that stops, it'll start to turn almost to like a rainbow color, and then it'll flash over to a gold button. And we're probably, I don't know, probably 5 minutes away from that. So all right, I think we're ready. We should be.
If not, there's very little lead left. I'm just impatient and I like to look at what I'm doing like a little kid in a candy store. Oh. Yeah, she's done. She is done. See if we can get it to flash over on the camera. It's getting brighter. Come on. So, you know, we have our button there, and she's got a little tarnish on her. But as you can see, that ring around there is all that lead that's oxidized out and absorbed into the Cupel. These little 3 dots are, they actually popped up on there as it was cooling. Some little spurts came out and stuck there, so that might be some gold or something that we want to recover. And we'll see that when we pop that little bad boy out of there. Alright, she is definitely shiny. Not spitting yet. See, I don't think it's done. It's forming what looks like raindrops back on the top again. I've seen this happen before. Got a little borax in there. Cleaned up the surface a little bit. And it definitely looks a lot less like matte on the surface, surface, compared to that first round. And we're gonna let that cool off and hopefully get a weight on it.
Alrighty, so we let that cool down. Here is the button. And we poured a little borax over the top and it sucks some copper out. And there is some lead left in there. You can see that on the ring. This is the bottom of the Cupel. And I think the Cupel got loaded up and I should re-Cupel it, but we're going to play with this more. So I'm not really too worried about it. So that's our first button. And we're at 3.47 grams. So we reduced the lead amount out of there and all the impurities by a couple grams. A little more than that, 2.5 or so. And this will be the first button we're going to play with. Beauty.
Enjoy.
All right, so we just did a bunch of stuff. Kind of did it quick for you guys, but you guys have seen this before. Had a little bit different recipe to get this copper smelted out here. And from the preliminary looks of it, you know, let me get a temperature gun and make sure this is solid down there first. All right, let me shoot the bottom of this and make sure we're under like 500, because if we're upwards of 500 or more, 600, I don't think I want to pull this just quite yet, but we can talk about it here for a minute. Okay, we're at like 300, we're good. Okay, so from the preliminary looks of it, we have exactly what we want. We've got red slag here. And the reason why we want red slag is to show us an indication that we've gotten the copper out. And let me just grab a piece of this, make sure it's not too hot. Ooh, it's hot. Got hot hands from touching plastic all day, I guess. Not like some of my coworkers who have just like a solid callus where they can have plastic on it, but take a look at that. That is very dark red. It's really even hard to see. It's like a blood red. It's a really dark red. So good indication we've got our copper out. Usually likes to stick in this sometimes. That's all right. Ooh. We did not get all that copper anywhere near out. What a mess. All right, so as you can see, we've got our two different buttons here. This one here is the one that we were refining and cupelled and re-cupelled, and I think that cupel is exhausted. So in part 4, what we're gonna be doing is re-cupelling this guy alone, and then we're gonna be cupelling this guy here as well. I'm going to use a couple different cupels. I also need to wire brush this and get it cleaned up. But part 3 was long overdue here, and I'm trying to get all this done in the month of February. So we're going to cupel this one. It's not really super exciting to watch. We're going to refine this as much as we can, and then we're going to start getting into some chemical purifications of these buttons here. So look forward to those episodes, and thanks for watching.